The Parameter Navigator is kind of an internal report that we use to really dig into the data without any 3D, without any distraction. And so if we look at the high level, we're going to drill up and look at all of these things. So these two matrices here are really the things that we select. And then these three matrix on the right are going to be the instance parameter, the type parameter, and the family parameter. So perhaps you're coming up with a game plan and you're going like, okay, I want to extract a certain parameter from my doors, but I'm not sure what is available. So here I'm selecting my doors and I'm going to see all of the instance parameter as well as some example values, all the type parameter and all the family parameters. So this is going to look at all of the doors, not just a singular door, and show you all the potential parameters that are in there, as well as the example values. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I've got a fire rating in my type parameter or my instance parameter, what it's called, and so forth, this is a report that you would use to kind of make that plan. Now let's take a step back because there's two tables here. There's one that's called instance and non-instances. And this is kind of a core concept that's hidden behind Power BI that as a developer, as a, software nerd, I've been exposed to, but regular Revit users have not been exposed to. So what the heck is an instance and what is a non-instance? So an instance is something that is physically in the world. For example, in Revit, you may have a spoon in your library, but it has not been placed in the model as a real spoon. So there's the concept of the spoon that is ready in your library to be placed there. And then perhaps eventually you put 10 spoons in your model. Now those are instances and the concept of the spoon is a non-instance. They are all elements, but only some of them are instances. We see here, a great breakdown of what else could be in there. So areas, materials, grids, views, those are elements, but they're not instances. And there's going to be some outliers, right? Rooms are kind of a middle ground. They're not considered instances, but, they kind of are because technically there's a kind of a cube there that represent each room, even if you can necessarily see it inside a Revit usually. Then look at this. There's an outlier here. Walls. So this is usually going to be because of a couple exceptions. It could be that you're doing a 3D section in Revit, and when you do that, Revit kind of like, let's say you cut a wall in your section in 3D, Revit is going to be like, well, it's here, but it's not here. And let's say you were to cut this entire model in 3D right in the middle, some elements, even though they're kind of there geometrically, Revit may consider as non-instances. It's a bit of a weird thing, and for that reason, I don't recommend cutting your model right in half if you're trying to be accurate or do estimation. Now, the particular instance we're looking at here is where there's actually a wall inside of another wall, and the wall is kind of eating the smaller wall that's inside of it. So the wall that's being eaten is kind of in limbo. And that's what I found with these little weird exceptions is that it's there, but it's not physically there. So it kind of goes in this weird limbo where it ends up being a non-instance. So you can navigate this to kind of see what is considered an instance or not. Sometimes it seems a bit arbitrary how Revit uses these concepts, but this is going to give you the full breakdown. And just to simplify things, when we are doing estimation, in most of your work, you're just going to focus on the physical and perhaps the topography and perhaps the rooms. So this is really going to make your list a lot shorter. And so let's get back to a real use case scenario. You are trying to promote some parameters. If you go into how to customize a Power BI report in our playlist, you'll see very quickly I'm going to start talking about promoting a parameter. And when you're promoting a parameter, when you're trying to figure out where your parameter is, this is a great place to start. You're selecting, let's say you do a report on doors and you want to promote the parameter. Well, here we go. Right away, we see there's an instance parameter for door fire rating. We also see that it's empty, so maybe we want to go and check out if there's actual values in there. But this is going to really allow you to check where that parameter is. Is it an instance parameter? Is it a type parameter? Is it a family parameter? When you select your door, all of this is exposed here. This is kind of a nightmare because it's a really badly managed project in terms of parameters. But let's hope your project is not so much of a mess. And hopefully with our tool, you'll be able to clean it up if it is a mess and keep it strong and tight in terms of the data quality. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Cheers.